Welcome to Tomes. As usual, we're your hosts, Cody, and the awesome co-host, Jacen.
Oh,
And we're excited to start a new book and a new book club for this year. And we'll get into that soon, but first we'll go over some of the fantasy news and such.
yeah. Usually I'm pretty good on top of this, but actually, past couple of weeks I've been slacking a lot. But main one I had was Madam Web came up this week and has not been doing well. I will not get into it. I'll
Yeah.
just leave it at that.
I didn't even know it was coming out. I didn't even know it was a thing until you told me about it right before this.
Yeah,
So,
because that's
says
very
a lot.
helpful. Yeah, no, it says a lot. They only had one trailer come out, and it's just like it's had zero PR. It's just yeah, nobody cares about it.
Yeah. I am other things, just reminders that I am Avatar comes out this month, I believe it is.
Yes.
It's like the 22nd of this month or 24th or something.
I think it is the twenty
Let's pull it
second.
up.
Again, I was confusing that and when Brooklyn Nine is actually getting on Netflix, so I confused the two. It's like I believe Brooklyn Nine is the 26th, but Avatar is the 22nd.
21st, February 20. Oh, no, never mind. That's the old one. Why did I bring up the old one? Change that a little bit. Okay, February 22nd. That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah,
One day apart. Well, one day and 19 years.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that is really cool. It's yeah, no, they're paying homage to it, so that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Which excited because M Night Shyamalan has not had a hand in this, so we should be good.
Right. I hope it's good. I'm really excited for it. Give it the benefit of the doubt and try and enjoy it for what it is.
Yep, same here. It's just again, and I think since it stayed in house with the studio, and at least from the trailers we've seen with the bending, it at least looks good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be miles ahead of the movie. I am.
Yep.
And I think it's still going to be good. They're going to take things their own way. I am, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. I know they will. But I hope that they still do the characters justice. And that's the thing that I know a lot of people have been concerned about. And I am too. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
hopeful.
Oh, same here. So excited about that. Dune is in a couple weeks. I already got my tickets for the premiere.
Nice.
So yeah, really excited about all of it.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
Oh yeah,
Um,
and I've been reading more in Children of Dune.
yeah.
Not as captivating as the first ones. Still entertaining, but it's a different source, so to speak.
Okay.
Because okay, so in the first and but basically Paul Atreides Dune kind of part,
Mm-hmm.
it's all focused on okay, they're on Arrakis, they have to adapt to Arrakis, adapt to the desert, adapt to everything on the planet, the spice, they're overcoming it, learning it, really harnessing that desert power.
Yeah.
In this, in the Children of Dune on, I believe they are terraforming Arrakis. They're starting to terraform, and because of it, that loses the spice, that changes the desert, that changes literally everything about it, and the yeah, so it's just like okay, when we do this, like it's going to cause a major shift because the spice that we have is basically going to go extinct, so we're going to need to terraform another planet to do it that way. So it's kind of interesting to see where they're the future of it they're trying to take it, and with all this with the pre-science and them seeing into the future, it just gets interesting. It's a little weird, and I'm just like okay, this is a little thick for me. Which
Yeah.
is why I think I see a lot of people going yeah, after book two it just gets a little weird. I think I get it. I'm slowly understanding it, but still excellently written because Frank Hubert did a great job with writing it. But yeah,
Good. Like,
so
yeah, because that's the thing that I always heard as well about it. And I'm excited though. I'm excited to hear about it from you. I'm never gonna read it,
yeah.
but
Yeah, you know what? And if anything, that's what I get to do. That's the joy of this channel is we get to explore books, explore stories, and then we get to tell each other about them. Swap some manly stories. Then in the morning, we're making waffles.
heck yeah,
but
chocolate chips in them.
oh yeah. Bodat, do
What
you
is it?
have any other news announcements?
No, I don't.
Okay, then we'll jump right on into book club. So, the next book we are doing is actually the first book in the First Law trilogy written by Joe Abercrombie, and the first book is called The Blade Itself. I did not
Yeah.
read any summary about it. I've just, again, part of the reason why this popped up on my radar was Seth, I want to say Seth Green. He did an interview with Sanderson and Joe Abercrombie.
Oh, cool.
And Sanderson just kept on complimenting him because one of the things that Sanderson struggled with in his early career was the fact the publishers were looking for something similar to Game of Thrones, but that's not Game of Thrones.
Mm,
And
yeah.
it's just like they wanted something more on the lighter side that had a little bit more humor in it. And he's just like, and he read the first Law trilogy. He's like, this is what they were looking for. And so for me, again, having that curiosity, knowing how at least critically acclaimed the Blade itself has been, wanted to give it a shot, and we get to do this together.
Yeah. Did I tell you how I got the book?
No, I don't think you did.
So my wife and I, we did a date night where we decided we're gonna go and basically pick everything out for the other person. I am. So we went and we started with outfits. We bought whole new outfits for it for each other.
Mm-hmm.
We went and I went to the bookstore at one point and we each picked a book out for each other. And this is the book that she picked out for me.
Oh, fun!
Yeah.
It's really fun.
And so I've had it for a little bit and just hadn't gotten to it. And then we talked about it. And we're like, hey, look, we both have this.
Because yeah, so when I went on my cruise, I wanted at least something to entertain me on the flight, so I got like two Kindle samples, and one of them was the Blade itself. The other one was actually a Warhammer Age of Sigmar book.
Nice.
As soon as I started reading the Blade itself, I was like, "Oh, I'm hooked." Just
It's
because
good.
it's good. It is very well written. It is like honestly, again, it's great. It's good. It's been
Yeah.
really good and entertaining so far. So with that, we start off the first chapter called "The End" with Logan. Now, most of this I think was more like a prologue, kind of a precursor to kind of what's going on his end. And just
Yeah.
within these first five chapters is kind of us getting to know the main characters.
I agree. I love that he did start the first chapter out though by calling it the end.
Yeah.
I am. I thought that was a really clever way, and it got my interest right off the bat. As one, yeah, I thought it was a really cool way to start. But the one problem I had with it, and this is what we had talked about before, and I'm just because this is when I think about it, this is all I can think about. I had
Mm-hmm.
no idea what was actually going on. It talks about dog was like
Oh yeah, like
dogman, flatheads.
yeah,
It had
the people in his band.
shankas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Shanka or whatever, the Shrilling.
and I still have no idea what pretty much any of that is. And it just to me completely went over my head. But as I said, I wasn't fully there reading it. My mind was kind of elsewhere as I was doing that.
Oh
So
no, I was again. It was one of those things like, okay, we're immediately getting into the world building. We're getting to know these couple of groups of people. But what I find very interesting now, actually, now that you re-brought back up, is the chapter title called "The End." And as we've
mhm.
read through the books, it's just like there was a war that did happen, and so this with the end, it seems like okay, this is the end of that war. This is the last vestige of it, the last chase, the last part of that war with one of the main soldiers of Logan.
Mhm.
And it's kind of cool to kind of glean that and just like, okay, seeing that. And then we get into the second chapter with Glockta. Is
Yes.
Glockta? Yes. Glockta of the Inquisition.
Before that though,
Mm-hmm.
I the start of part one, it has a quote from Homer,
Yes.
and it's the title of the book. It's the blade itself incites to deeds of violence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a really cool quote and something to think about and ponder on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But oh wait, one second here. So actually, the next chapter, Survivors. is Logan after that chase. After he gets, I think he gets like wounded, or he's having to. Yeah, he shook the Shankas and is having to
Mhm.
hide. And
Yeah.
basically, he's like, I have two choices. Either A, go south, but the Shankas are going to catch me, or go north and freeze my butt off and to where my homeland is. Okay, gonna start north.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that I think kind of concludes Logan in the first two chapters.
Yeah.
But now, Galacta with questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's go ahead.
I was gonna say, okay, what's your opinion on Galacta overall?
On I Glockto himself, I'm still trying to figure out if I like him or not.
Mm-hmm.
I am. But the thing I really do like about his chapters is his internal dialogue that's added with it.
Yes.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was just agreeing with you. Like, yes, and I love it.
Yeah, I am. His internal dialogue, honestly, to me, just I'm able to relate to it a little too well, probably. But it's because it's not full sentences, full coherent thoughts. It's more emotion and just brief things, and you just kind of feel it. And so it helps you just feel what his character's feeling with short, simple statements and words that aren't complete thoughts, but they're thoughts people have. So I thought it was really cool how that he does that throughout Glocta's chapters.
Yeah, it really gives Glocta his voice, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what makes it so entertaining. Is we're kind of in the head with him. We're with him,
Yeah.
and this is where it's like this. In my mind's eye, I was like, okay, Galacta, kind of a villain, but it's one I kind of like.
Yeah, so that's what I said. I couldn't tell if I liked him or not because he definitely feels more evil, more uh, definitely morally gray at the very best.
Oh yeah, especially again since like his specialty is torture.
Yeah.
But still, my favorite section is when he is talking to his boss's boss.
Yeah.
Just the 1 second here. Yeah, Arch Lecter Salt. I love that exchange.
Yes, that
Specific.
was good.
Oh, specifically, yeah, this section. Arch Lecter Salt lowered himself gracefully into one of the seats, drew a heavy sheaf of yellow papers across the table towards him. He waved his hand at the other chair, the one that would have been used by the prisoners. The implications were not lost on Glocta. I prefer to stand, Your Eminence. Salt smiled at him. He had lovely pointy teeth, all shiny white. No, you don't. He has me there.
That was great.
When I was on the plane and I read that, and I immediately just started busting up laughing just because I was like, oh my gosh! If anything, this is what makes Galacta relatable. Is just that internal dialogue.
Yeah, it's true.
So
That part was so
again, and I just love how we see what he goes through. Just like because again, he's I'm trying to remember the disease where like all your bones are super fragile. Where again,
great.
even a
Yeah,
simple fall could kill you.
yeah,
Like I can't remember the name of the disease, and it seems like Glocta has that. You find out later why this is the way he is, but because again,
yeah.
I read. That's why I was asking, is like, do I do 5 pages or 5 chapters or 10 chapters? Is because I've technically read 8 chapters because I got through the sample, which is 8 chapters.
Gotcha.
But again, just the whole him in the very beginning of the chapter, him talking about how adventurous going downstairs is. The way it is described, it truly was like an adventure we were going on with him. Just it's just exhilarating for him, and we're like, this is just stairs.
That was really funny, honestly. It just yeah, I just loved how it is, but whereas like it's a mundane thing, but for him it's an adventure. It's just because he stubs his toe and just he's like the moment between you when you stub your toe and the pain, and you just know it's about to come. And I'm just like, oh, oh yeah, oh no.
Or even just like as he's going down there, his internal dialogue, he's complaining. He's like, the man who invented the stairs. Oh, leave me in a room with him. I'll make him sing.
Right.
And then he gets to his office. He sits down in the chair. He's like, the man who invented the chair. I would love to shake his hand and thank him. Like, it's just those little things. This really gives Glokta his voice, and that's what makes him so likable early on in here. And you're like, but he's a torturer.
Yeah, but that's also his job for the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's the thing where I've read enough morally gray ones that it's just okay. I can see past I can see past that, but it's the complete lack of empathy that's just really entertaining to me.
Oh yeah. Like it's just he has these funny quips. He's so far he's the funniest character in the book.
Oh, for sure, for sure. It's definitely one of those that he doesn't take things too seriously, and I think that has a lot to do with him being in such a serious position
Mm-hmm.
where he tortures people for information to get what he needs out of them, get a confession, and then go on with things. And of course, he's gonna have to have a dark sense of humor, but he's gonna have to have a sense of humor to make it through that and not go absolutely crazy.
Oh yeah. So actually, in the same vein here, I've also been reading White Knight Dresden Files, and the case he's trying to solve is it's been just like case after case of these women who have been murdered. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
I got to get hammered before I can even look at these files, just because it taxes the soul so much. So Glokta in the position he is, just like, yeah, I'm gonna have a dark sense of humor about all this, and I'm gonna go more focus on my life. And I think there's even points in here where he's just like, please just confess. I do not want to twist the knife. I will. I'm willing to. I might even enjoy it a little bit, but just make it easier on both of us. Just confess. Just confess.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like how he's just also lying to them. So like, oh yeah, no, we'll set you up north where we'll get you set up in the mines and do all this. Like, yeah, they're gonna freeze to death within a week.
Yep.
It's basically like they're sending them to Russia.
Oh, it is. It's straight up just they're going to send them to the gulags. Like that is how it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And now his friend's like, "Oh, you're being merciful." He goes, "Nah, the river would have been merciful. Just put him straight in the river would have been merciful. He's not going to make it a week up there."
Yeah.
I am. Interesting thing though,
Mm-hmm.
just with that conversation you're talking about with the arch,
Oh yeah,
what
the
was
Arch Lecter.
Lecter? Thank you. I'm the person that he's supposed to arrest, Septon Teufel.
Yeah.
Teufel is German for devil. Just fun fact.
That's
I don't
funny.
know if that's gonna apply to anything in this or if he just chose the name. And that's where I'm really interested to see what how this author is. If he picked names just to pick names, or if even the names have a lot of meaning behind them. I so I'm very curious to see that. And that was the reason I brought it up. It's just because
It's
it's something
German.
that could be yeah.
Okay.
But it is I'm curious to see if that's going to mean anything or if this is just kind of a throwaway character. And he had fun with the name.
Okay. I know what happens, but
With Teufel?
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's going to be it is interesting to a degree. But
Okay.
other than that, I think that kind of concludes at least that chapter with Galacta. So that's yeah, 3 chapters. So fourth chapter, playing with knives.
I love his chapter titles.
These chapter
I'm not
titles
gonna
are
lie.
catchy. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. Um
Like yeah, the chapter
it's
I'm currently on is called the Morning Ritual.
okay.
Let me see here. Is it after this? Okay, yeah. Then after where we ended is called fencing practice. But
Okay.
let me see here. Playing with knives. Oh yeah, we met Captain Jizal.
Yeah,
What do you think of this so
and that was
far?
the previous chapter. So, or no, that's Playing with Knives. Yeah. This is one where I feel like it's that overconfident character that gets humbled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The main one is where he goes through, he does the testing, and he gets highly praised from two of them, and the last one's the grumpy old man who was like, yeah, I guess it was good, but you could do better.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, hey, the one thing, you can't go get drunk anymore. Then it's 6 hours later, he's drunk.
Yeah, like if anything, like okay, Joe Abercrombie has got his comedic timing for books like down patented. They're like fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, he does such a great job of that.
It's like you're not allowed to get drunk. 6 hours later, I'm hammered.
Right. So he reminds me of Captain Kirk from the movies, the
Okay, the
ones
start.
with Chris Pine, the
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek movies with Chris Pine. It
Yeah.
reminds me of that Captain Kirk. That's the feel I get from him.
Okay. Yeah, I think you know what? I think that is a good, accurate assumption of him.
Okay.
Just because, oh
So
yeah,
I like him, basically.
yeah. I found the part where he just says 6 hours later he was drunker than crap.
Yeah.
Like, let me see here.
And that's when he runs into Glokta,
Yes.
him with Major West and then Caspa,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're arresting Toyful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's kind of an interesting interaction. What did you think of it?
I thought was a fun, like an interesting way to introduce these characters. And us to see Glokta from another perspective. Because again, we see Glokta inside his head. We experience that. We
Mm-hmm.
go with him through all of that. We see him with his henchmen. Like we see all that from Glokta's perspective. So now that we get Captain, is it Captain, right? We get Jazal's perspective,
Yeah, yeah,
who I'd say is like your almost your everyday man. Well, I should say everyday noble.
yeah.
And so it was just kind of nice to see the multiple perspectives. So that way, and then we see how Glokta really works. Like he is very persuasive and very threatening, as long as he's got his henchmen.
Right. But it sounds like he, back in his prime, was pretty nasty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was a fighter, and he was in the military. Like he was
Mm-hmm.
able to hold his own in combat, and that he could duel with the best of them. Um, but then whatever happened, and
Mm-hmm.
he's no longer able to.
Yeah. But if anything, one other thing I did like in this is I do like how they discipline him,
Yeah,
making him run. Like it really felt like we were, in one respect, in the military. We were watching him. People were placing bets. Like it honestly, like this book again. It's like again, it has the darker moments, but overall, I'm like, dude, this was jovial. It's funny.
he does really well balancing the two. I
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a movie that it kind of compares to that they do really good with balancing the two. And I had one, and now I can't think of it.
But it's just like, and even
But
some of the
yeah,
humor in it. Don't get me wrong, some of the humor in it is dark, but not all of it.
yeah,
There are jokes I was just like, that's good. And again, it's like this book is not a comedy, but it hits you right where it needs to be funny.
it does. It has really good comedic timing, and it does it to keep things a little bit lighter and not as serious.
Mm-hmm.
But it also makes everything feel more authentic
Yes.
because people do have senses of humor, and people will joke constantly in situations they really shouldn't be.
And even which is all like we see him, it's just like, yes, Captain. 6 hours later, I was drunk.
Yo.
Just because, again, people don't like change right on a dime. They fall off the horse, or they make false promises. like
Yep.
again, all the characters in here, like oddly the one that I'm like, it feels like a quote unquote Shalon chapter, so to speak, related to
Hmm.
Stormlight Archives, is actually Logan, the character we start off with. Like
Right.
he has like some of the most like mystery, and I think he has a lot of like the big background that's going with him. But
Hmm.
Glocta, I like the way he's written, the way like really gives him the voice where we feel like we're with him. Giselle, like he's just like soldier we can all relate to. Like again, it's so well written and it's so good. Like I've been thoroughly enjoying myself. It's part of the reason why like after I finished that sample, I immediately went and got the book. And just like, all right, we're doing it for book club since we both got it now.
Yeah. Oh, I enjoy it. I really enjoy these chapters though.
Mm-hmm. I say yeah.
Or a
Next
number
time,
of them.
next time we'll be caught up. We'll be at the same level.
Yeah. I'll double down and get them.
It's okay. We'll be doing that next week. We're just gonna be doing the next 5 chapters. So I'll check ahead, see where like the ending point is, because unlike Shadow What Was Lost and everything like and some of the other books, it's not numbered. So you have to
No.
okay, this is chapter 1, so that's 1. This is another chapter, that's 2. That's another chapter, that's 3. That's another chapter 4. Yeah, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But no, I've been really enjoying the book, and I am really excited for next week where we get to dive more into it.
Yeah, me too.
So for right now, I think that's a good place to put the bookmark in. Until next time.
Thank you all for joining us.
All right, and we will catch you guys next time. Again, thank you so much for tuning into Tomes. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next time.